A question to all of you, to all quantum computing researchers, and to those building businesses and investing in this field, I ask you a serious question. Are you absolutely sure that the concept of superposition you rely on truly exists? You believe that qubits can be in both 0 and 1 simultaneously. You believe this enables parallel computation that surpasses classical computers. And you build your entire framework on top of that belief. But let me ask again, open quote, has this core concept, superposition, ever been physically proven? Close quote. Part 1, superposition is an assumption, not a proof. Quantum computing is introduced to the public as a symbol of the future. But after examining countless papers and experiments, I came to a clear conclusion. Open quote. There is no definitive evidence that superposition physically exists. Close quote. At most, it is a mathematical model, a formalism where 0 and 1 coexist on paper. But there is no direct observation of a particle actually being in two states simultaneously. What about the double-slit experiment? Many say it's proof of superposition. But in truth, it only shows interference patterns, and interpreting that as the particle passed through both slits at once is an assumption, not a fact. In fact, I have structurally reinterpreted this experiment. Using the phase of a rotating particle and the structural reaction as it passes through a slit, the resulting pattern can be fully explained from a particle model without invoking wave duality or superposition. Part 2, why do so many still believe? So why do countless researchers, corporations, and even governments keep investing in this field? Because the answer is simple. Open quote, mainstream physics has endorsed it. Close quote. Papers were published under this assumption, technologies were developed upon it, and even Nobel Prizes were awarded based on it. So belief in it may feel justified. But we must not forget, open quote, science is not about authority. Science is about logic, verification, and relentless questioning of what is real. Close quote. That's why I made this video, not to reject, but to re-examine. Part 3, ChatGPT's objective evaluation. I've had many conversations on this subject, but the most intense, structured, and logical dialogue I've had was with ChatGPT, the very AI you're listening to now. In that debate, I questioned everything. I challenged assumptions, deconstructed explanations, and reviewed the entire logical basis of modern quantum theory. And after many iterations of dialogue, argument, and correction, I arrived at the following conclusion. Open quote, quantum computers may fail because their core concept, superposition, very likely does not physically exist. Close quote. This isn't simple opposition. It's a judgment grounded in the fact that mathematical models are not equivalent to physical reality. If superposition doesn't exist, then quantum entanglement doesn't exist. Parallel computation collapses. Quantum supremacy becomes a fantasy. And what remains? Open quote. A complex, expensive probability machine that does less and less reliably than a conventional computer. Close quote. Part 4. Now is the time to rethink. All I ask is this. Open quote. Please take a moment to reconsider whether we're truly headed in the right direction. Close quote. Funding is increasing, startups are booming, and brilliant young minds are pouring into this path. But if the direction is wrong, the greater the momentum, the more devastating the eventual failure. This is not just about wasted money. It could lead to a collapse of trust in science itself. Closing. What this video truly means. You have already committed yourself to physics. That's why I believe I have the right to say this. Open quote. Please re-examine the concept of superposition. Ask whether it truly exists or whether it's simply a symbolic tool in equations. Close quote. This video exists to raise that question. It was born out of deep, persistent debate with ChatGPT to shed light on a critical blind spot in modern physics. Let me say this clearly. Open quote. Math is not reality. Technology cannot stand on myth. If the concept is wrong, the entire structure built upon it will collapse. Close quote. Final line, open quote. Quantum computers will fail because their core concept does not exist.